Welcome back, everybody, to the Running It Back Network's coverage of the Tour de France. Stage 12 today, won by Tadej Pogačar. Big mountain stage. You could see our first real mountain test. And, well, you saw what happened. He took control pretty much of the whole thing. Interesting stage. So we're going to do it just like we have on all the other stages. We're going to talk headlines, USA Report, winners and losers, a media GC, and we're going to talk tomorrow's very interesting uphill TT. But before we do that, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, give it a subscribe right here. This is my channel. I am your host. All my content is up here, my stand-up comedy videos, my interview series, got a movie series that I've done in the past that's up there. Go check it out. Not to mention I'm covering every single stage of the tour. We're going to have our special guest on the weekends join as well. So, welcome everybody. So, let's talk stage 12 headlines for the day. Headlines include Pogačar firmly in control, dropped riders, Remco, Jorgensen, and Jonas later. A 51 rider break. And the stage looked really hot out there. Let's start with the obvious. Pogačar firmly in control. He blasted up the Hautacam final climb. I went back and rewatched it. I was like, well, did I miss when he actually went away? Like, I just looked up and he was already gone. So like, well, when did he go? I had to rewatch it. And the order of events goes, his teammate Narvaez takes the front of the climb at the base, rides super hard, leads him out. Then Pogačar essentially attacks after that, and it was done. I believe that was at 11.4 kilometers. Got an instant gap to Jonas. Jonas doesn't hold the wheel for any time at all. He just has a gap. And then you knew Jonas was done for when he just starts looking backwards instantly. It's like, well, there's no way I can keep this pace. Who's behind here? Anybody? Nobody. And then to Jonas's credit, he does stay by himself the whole time, but he's just bleeding more and more time as the stage kept going. So Pogačar, and I will say Pogačar did look like he was putting 100% effort in. It didn't look like he was just cruising and toying. He was trying super hard. He came through the finish line. He was gassed. Jonas came through the finish line looking twice as gassed. He looked bad. He looked really, really spent at the end of this stage. So we have to ask a few questions of, did Jonas overdo it today, and did he ruin his chance at second place by potentially cracking himself for the stages to come? I don't know. No one really seemed to be catching up to Jonas, but at the same token, all these stages are taking a toll. I said before this stage, maybe in a text to someone, that if Pogačar wins this tour, which he probably will, I mean, he's going to say this was the hardest tour he's ever won. And now I think I'm taking that back, because today, look, just was so easy for him. He rode hard and he just rode away from everybody. It's like the easiest stages for him are uphill stages, because all he does is ride his tempo. No one goes with them. And then he's alone, and then he'll win. So firmly in control, Pogačar is today. Next headline is people who were dropped today. Remco was dropped on the Souleur climb, the climb before the final climb. And it was like, oh boy, Remco is done for. He's the young guy. He doesn't have it today, which I wonder at one point we start getting critical of Remco, that he is not up for these big challenges, because not only was he dropped on the climb before the final climb, his own teammates are falling back and having to wait for him. And then he comes back and he has this really, really good fight up to Hautacam, and he's racing for third on the finish line. So where he found some legs, I have no idea. It's the weird. He had the weirdest day today. Remco, along with Jorgensen, got dropped early too, but Remco had a strange day. So if he were to get dropped in Souleur, and he could have easily lost 10 minutes potentially. If he's dropped, he's feeling bad. Pogačar's on fire. Jones on fire. 10 people in between are on fire, and then Remco's just done. GC's gone, and then he goes into older Remco where he's like, I'll go for stages, but nobody cares about stages for you, Remco. But he did not. He fought. And he's going to fight now he's in the fight for third place overall at GC. Along with those drops, like I said, Jorgensen was dropped early, kind of by his own team. They're pacing on, one of the climbs. They're not even on the Soulor yet. And Jorgensen is dropped. I think Yates was on the front dropping him. The pace was too much. And they just let off the gas and let him come back. It was weird to see. He was dropped, or he was in the cars early in the stage too. And Bob Roll saying like, he told his team car to slow down and he's not feeling good. And then we didn't really talk about it until the climb again. And then finally our last drop, Jonas gets dropped later. Like I said, Pogačar goes with like 11K left in the climb and Jonas just has no answer. And there was an uphill shot where you saw the gap from Pogačar to Jonas, and you just knew instantly, like, oh, there's no way. There's no way he's catching up. There's no way Pogačar's slowing down. He's riding for second, and if somebody catches up, then that's just going to be the group on the road because they're never getting to Pogačar. Next headline, 51 rider break. That was a little strange when I flipped on the TV and saw a 51 rider break. A lot of passengers, a lot of teams in there. Who's driving it? We didn't really see. And then the break slowly got chipped away. Not really by the peloton, although interesting, the peloton really didn't let it go to 2 minutes even. They kind of stayed there. And this is how this this race has gone the entire time with these breakaways. They're not giving them a lot of time. So 51 riders was a little deceiving in the sense like, the gap's going to balloon. Never ballooned. Someone can win from this break. That threat never materialized. It was just a weird thing to see that we essentially had two pelotons out on the road racing. Last headline, today looked hot. We saw the way Pogačar and Jonas came through the line looking completely spent. Jonas more than Pogačar. But there was a couple times on the road when they're descending, and you could see that asphalt surface look baked, looked a little greasy. And surprisingly enough, I didn't see any bad crashes. But just today looked so brutal. Luckily, there was some spots of shade on the descent that I'm sure the riders loved. There was ice bags everywhere in riders' jerseys. But today looked really hot, and the reports were saying it was 90 plus in this stage. Really brutal. So before we go to the USA report, let's do a quick rundown of the GC right now after stage 12. We got Tadej Pogačar is in the lead. Jonas Vingegaard is second at 331 back. Remco Evenepoel is third at 445 back. So Jonas has got about a minute and change on him. Now we go to fourth and fifth. Lipowitz from Bora, 534 back. And Kevin Vogelon, 540 back. So for that podium spot, that third place, that could be the race to watch for the next couple of days. The time trial is going to be critical tomorrow. Ideally, Remco is good at these. But I don't know if you can really say what you're good at. It's just going to translate at this point because everybody's going to be so tired. It's been so hard. The Lipowitz and Vogelon, I'm a little nervous for their TT tomorrow. They're not known to be good time trialists. They're riding on sheer will on these climbs right now. Isolated into just something as short as a 10.9 kilometer time trial, I'm worried. I'm worried that one of them is going to have a bad TT. All right, moving on. The USA report. Let's track down our countrymen in the Tour de France. Again, nothing too crazy to speak about today because the big one, Matteo Jorgensen, my secret hope for the dual threat, that's out of it now, which opens up the door for being so far out of GC. Maybe he'll be allowed to go up the road for a stage win or something like that. But you heard his interview after the stage. It was disappointment. It was a huge letdown. He was hoping for more, and he was on a bad day all day today. But look at this. He finished 15th. So still an admirable finish, although he wanted so much more. His teammate and American Sepp Kuss finished 24th. in a helper role. It's so contradictory. Visma is so strong. They were controlling the pace for a lot of this stage on the hills, through the flats, and you could make a very good argument as to why are they doing this? You're racing like you have the jersey. You don't have the jersey. UAE should be doing this. Why are you burning up your riders? You're thinking like, well, if I make the pace hard, then it'll be hard for Pogačar. No, it won't. All you're doing is kind of isolating him, but still Narvaez was there for his last teammate. I didn't get that tactic at all. Again, would any of this change the outcome of today? Probably not. So I don't know what they're doing. And yet again, it doesn't really matter. Nielsen Palace finished 65th. Will Barta finished 78th. And Quinn Simmons 85th. So the good news is all the Americans are in safe. They can race another day. That's good. We're still hoping for that stage win from somebody. I'm thinking too closely now because we're thinking, oh, Quinn Simmons is in all these breaks. He's got to get a stage. He's going to get one. Now I'm going to go out on a limb and say, and if American does win a stage, it's not going to be Quinn Simmons. I think he's just becoming the Susan Lucci of this tour. He can't win one. He's the Buffalo Bills. Moving on to winners and losers on the stage. God, I had a lot for today's stage. So let's go with the winners. How about this? President of France, Macron. I feel half the popularity of this guy is just his name, Macron. God, that guy was having a good time today. He's walking around the VIP area. He's glad-handing. You see he was in the VIP car. Just a huge smile on his face, having a good time. Then he's at the finish line. I don't know if he's even a cycling fan, but Mr. Popularity, Macron today was a winner of the day. Next winner, how about getting a head start on the climb? Like you're in a break. You know the big guns are gunning for you. You know it's going to be a hard stage, but you get a little head start on the climb. Like, hey, good, I'm going to cruise this climb, and everything I ride until they catch me is just money in the bank. How about these winners for the stage? These nominees are followed by question marks. Was Remco a winner today after fighting back and staying in this third place after such a horrible Souleur climb? And was Kevin Vogelon a winner today? Fighting not that far back. He probably has never raced up a hill quite like this. Was he a winner today? Next winner of the stage, how about this one? Aero bikes on mountains. Tadej Pogačar rode his aero bike. Jonas Vingegaard rode his aero bike. And I'm listening to the Move podcast today, analyzing the average speed of that climb. There was still advantages to riding an aero bike up that hill. Beyond weight, we had their two finishers, first and second, were on aero bikes. Jonas had the funky stem bike he was riding, and Pogačar was riding his weird triangled Colnago aero bike. So now we got to ask ourselves a question. What are they going to ride tomorrow for the uphill time trial, 10.9K? Are they going aero bikes? Are we going to see the silly helmet? Makes it a little intriguing. And last winner of the day. How about Primož's short socks? Winner? Am I going to get some hateful comments for this? Dedicated cyclists, purists don't like short socks. And Primož today, giving as hot it was, went with the no sock or short sock look. And I didn't hate it. I think this look is coming back at some point. Society is cyclical. We always swing. We got the high sock era. It's coming back to the low sock now. I don't know why, but I'm giving his low socks winner of the day. So we got winners of the day, but what about losers of the day? We got some of those too. So losers of the day. Here we go. Losers of the day. How about getting caught on a climb? Because we've all been climbing and we get caught and someone passes you and it's like they've got a different gear and they pass you and just know instantly, oh, I'm not staying with that. Go ahead. I'm not even going to try. So getting caught on a climb, loser of the day. Probably be a loser our entire lives. No one likes getting caught on a climb. Next loser of the day, how about Jonas's chances for the rest of this tour? That is in the toilet. I mean, Pogačar won the tour today, barring a crash or something out of the ordinary. He's not losing. He's winning tomorrow, most likely. Forget it. Throw anything in front of him. He's winning that. So Jonas's chances were the big loser of the day. Next loser of the day, how about teams in this tour that we haven't really even mentioned? So we're about halfway into the tour. We've talked about a lot of people, a lot of teams, a lot of interesting, but there's some teams we haven't even talked about. Like, are they even in the tour? Here's 3 quick ones. Movistar, done nothing. AG2R, not really done anything. Cofidis, besides their one guy crashing out, Jasper Philipsen, nothing. This has just been a big nothing tour. So breakaways and just hoping for a miracle now is what they're after. Maybe Will Bard on the Movistar team can win something. Because the other thing you got to think of too, it's going to be next week, but that third week of the tour, like, we're past the honeymoon stage of this tour. People are tired, they're angry, they're frustrated, they don't want to answer questions, they're pissed off at their own riders, other riders. It's going to get testy that third week. It's like roommates. By the time you get to Halloween, you're just kind of like, you know what? I don't like this guy anymore. This guy's a pain in the ass. Leaves his dishes out. Stinks up the bathroom. He's got his friends coming over when I didn't say. It's like, well, I'm tired of this. It's done. I'm pissed off. And I'm taking it out on somebody. Next loser of the day. How about Peacock's coverage of the race today? It was bad. It was bad. Jorgensen is in the team cars early in the race. And Barbara's like, look at Jorgensen not having a good day. And it never mentions it again. Just flippantly over. It's like, oh, the number 1 lieutenant, a dual threat in the GC. Hey, look at that. Bad coverage today. Not to mention, really hard to get video on each of the groups. When Pogačar goes up the road, Jonas follows. We didn't really get any coverage of the group behind Jonas for a long time. And that's what we need to know, like, who's chasing, who's struggling, who's in this group. We didn't have it. Coverage was bad today. It's almost like if the video is put in front of Bob Roll, he'll kind of comment on it and we might get by. But if it's not, he doesn't ask any questions. It's all very flippant to me. And he's had some good stages. Today was not one of them. Phil Liggett, too, I think we just like his voice. I like that he's there. But they were both bad today. They buried the lead a lot of times. Same with when Remco got dropped on the Souleur, it was like, oh, Remco is not feeling the pace. This is third on GC, guys. This is an important thing. He needs to make it over this climb, and he needs to muster some sort of strategy to get back. That was never mentioned. This is the guy. This is who is our top guy. And you're just like, oh, Remco. And we never even saw him getting dropped. Just the camera came on and Remco's off the back by like 50 feet. Where's the coverage today? Coverage was not good today. I don't know if there's too many groups on the road. They couldn't cover it. But I was struggling to know who was chasing who, especially who was chasing Jonas today. That needed to be covered. That was a major storyline. Pogačar had this stage wrapped up. Jonas was struggling behind him, but by himself. So who's racing? That's the next group. Didn't cover it. Last loser of the day, a dual winner. How about Remco getting dropped in the Souleur was a major loser. He won for salvaging a good ride, but he was also a loser today for getting dropped in the Souleur. So back to being critical of Remco. You're riding for GC. You knew this climb is coming. You need to prepare yourself nutrition-wise, fitness-wise. What happened on this climb? I mean, we could say heat. Heat is potential, but you should not have been dropped on this climb, especially when you had a teammate still in that group. Your teammate should not be able to handle a pace that you can't. So loser of the day, Remco getting dropped on the Souleur. And he's another one where I'm 50-50. He could either somehow come stronger in this third week and really ride for that third place, maybe threaten for second, or he can be hanging on for dear life in these next mountain tests. So it's going to be a test for Remco. This is a really hard decision, whether he continues on a upward trend, or it all goes to shit. Jonas, too. I'm a little worried about Jonas hitting the wall somewhere here, because today was a full-on beating, and it's like not only physically but psychologically. Okay, we're riding for second. You're riding for third now. Those were losers of the day. Macron. All right, moving on to Media GC. Let's see what our fellow YouTubers gained in views for yesterday's stage 11. So here we go. Media GC, The Move, with Lance Armstrong, Bradley Wiggins, and George Hincapie, got 60K views for their show yesterday. The Lantern Rouge, 22K. And finally, Chris Horner, brought to you by Baker Tilly. The Butterfly Effect got 50K views. So the winner, the belt has changed hands, goes over to The Move. Little drop off from Lantern Rouge from yesterday's show. And Butterfly Effect, a little drop too by a couple thousand. They're usually in that 54, 55K range. They're at 50 yesterday. So interesting to report back tomorrow how this mountain stage shook up. So the media, so in Media GC, The Move takes the belt. All right, everybody. So we saw what happened, but tomorrow, let's not sleep on tomorrow. A couple intriguing thoughts. Tomorrow is stage 13. It is a 10.9 kilometer uphill time trial. So first intrigue is, what do Jonas and what do Remco have in their TT legs tomorrow? Is there any threat whatsoever to Pogacar? Probably not. But is there any threat to Jonas from Remco? Interesting to see. We'll find out on that one. Second intrigue. Now, remember, a time trial goes in reverse order in GC as far as its start order. So our last three on the day are going to be Remco off, Jonas off, Pogacar off. So Jonas is chasing Remco. Sorry, flip it. Remco is chasing... No. Wait, I got it flipped. Jonas will be chasing Remco. Pogacar will be chasing Jonas. And I'm not sure if this is confirmed, but it should be a 2-minute interval between riders. And if we go off today, Pogacar took off at 11K. He put 2+ minutes into Jonas. He could catch him tomorrow. And there's nothing more embarrassing than being caught in a time trial. So Jonas knows that. He's like, I got a 2-minute head start. If this guy's flying, and I feel like today, I'm going to be embarrassed and get caught. And say the same thing with Remco too. He's going to be chased. So there's that too. If Remco's having a bad day, maybe Jonas can catch him too. Intriguing. Lastly, aerobike or no aerobike for our two, number one and number two riders. Pogacar and Jonas both did aerobikes today. Remco, his sponsor Specialized, doesn't have an aero road bike. They kind of put their aeroness into the bike he rides, which is the tarmac. So he'll be on that no matter what. But we'll see wheel choices, helmet choices, sock choices, short sleeve versus long sleeve. So there's a lot of intrigue with this uphill tomorrow, TT. I still like an uphill TT in the stage. It must be done. So we'll find out. That will be tomorrow's stage 13 uphill TT. All right, everybody. The tour is, from a GC perspective, looks like it's set, but it does not mean that we don't have more interesting stories. The battle for second and third is now becoming my favorite story, and a outside chance for a Jorgensen stage win on an attack being allowed to go up the road. That's what we got to hope for. We got to find out. We'll know he's going to hunt for stages if he tanks the TT tomorrow. Jorgensen. If he just finishes 8 minutes back and just soft pedaled the whole thing, we're like, okay, he's recovering. Stages, go for stages. Because at this point, now UAE can take over the front. It's not going to be like we need to have teammates around Jonas setting the pace. That's done. That strategy didn't work ever. UAE's in the lead, defend the jersey, go off of them. It's strategy time, and it's reevaluate your goals time too for Visma in my book. Great effort by Pogačar today. The guy's in a class of his own. And quick Remco thought before we go. Remco's got to think, I'm getting my head beat in by these two, the greatest cyclists we've had in 10 years, Pogačar and Jonas, possibly Pogačar the greatest ever. Hey, but I'm younger than you guys. I just got to wait you guys out. And then who's going to be next? Me. But Remco, you got to think of it like that. I'm getting an education here. And when you guys graduate, guess who's going to rule the school? Remco. All right, everybody, that was the Running It Back channel's recap of Stage 12 in the Tour de France, won by Tadej Pogačar. I am your host, Patrick Ramirez. This is my channel. If you've made it this far, give me a subscribe. Come on, you can do it. We're gaining viewers every day. We're getting subscribers to this tour. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you for the uphill TT tomorrow. Have a good night.